Adventures with Katie, Season 3. Foodie Friday. Spicy, maple roasted, small game birds. Or quail. And tell me, how do y'all like the smaller writing with the color accents? Let me know how that is. I feel like it works better. What say you?
Hey everybody, and welcome to Cooking Adventures with Katie, Season 3. On today's Foodie Friday, we are going to be roasting some quail. So here's kind of the thing. I had to get Cornish game hens because I thought wrong. I thought the Publix right by my house had quail, but they do not. They just have the Cornish game hens, which works just as well because the recipe is actually spicy maple roasted small game birds and not necessarily quail. So it works out either way. The recipe that you see is for quail, but since we have the Cornish hens, I will be eyeballing them for time and doneness, so they might have to cook a little bit longer. So, and when it came down to it, I had things going on this week, and I did not have enough time to run to the farmer's market out in DeKalb, which is an hour away, an hour and a half. So, I apologize, but the recipe's the same. I'm just using a 20-ounce bird instead of a 4-ounce bird. So, bit of a difference, but in the end, instead of getting 4 or 8, I'm using 3. So, and these birds are still like really, really little. So, little tiny nothing. So if these are 20-ounce Cornish hens, quails being 4-ounce would probably be about that big-ish, kind of. So, like, same recipe, just smaller. So, we are going to start with making our Chinese 5-spice. Although in this case it would just be regular 5-spice and not Chinese 5-spice. If you have Szechuan peppercorns, then it would be Chinese 5-spice. But we're going to toast it a little bit first before we grind them up. Now you can use a mortar and pestle, which is what I've used in the past. Only this time, since we have a bird grinder for our coffee, I have this blade grinder that I used to use for my coffee that I will be using for spices. So I have I have 1 star anise, whole one. I have 3 of the cloves. I've got a pinch, a healthy pinch of fennel. I have about 20 peppercorns, and I have 2 sticks of cinnamon that I broke into pieces. And they're sitting in the pan right here, and we're about to start toasting them to get them ready to be ground up. So we're going to start with that, and this will be our marinade that we're going to toast. So once we're done with this marinade, the next time y'all see those bright shiny windows, they're going to be dark because it's going to be about 8 o'clock. Yes. Alright, so right now we've got the eye on about 4. I just turned it on, and we're just going to kind of let this toast for a little bit. Now, the peppercorns might pop a little bit. They might not, but they might. So heads up for that. And then you just kind of want to go until you just kind of start smelling herbs. Once you start smelling the herbs, they will be slightly toasted, and they'll be ready to pull off and go into the grinder or your mortar and pestle. Alright, so things are smelling toasty. They smell about done. So we're going to go ahead and put them in our blade grinder. Alright, so here's what we come out with. That's about the color it is. David tasted it and said it was delicious. Alright, so after thoroughly washing our hands, you want to take 2 red chili peppers, seed them, and cut them in half. And then you want to cut them into strips. Now this is going to be our chili garlic paste. So
I'm going to be putting our strips into a processor and along with the garlic in order to make that paste. Now, if you are not, or if you do not have a processor, then you can simply mash your pepper as you're cutting it. Just cut it up real fine, and then just, I think, from what I understand, you use the blade and you just kind of mash it to in with the garlic to create a paste. So we're going to get these seeded. And now if you want to leave the seeds, you can. It'll make it a little bit more spicy. But once you have this seeded, you want to take it and cut it into strips. And then put it in your processor. Alright, so now you want to peel 3 garlic cloves, and we need 8 more for the not paste, but to go into the marinade. So we're going to take 3 for the paste. All right. So, David added a little squirt of olive oil to try and make it a little bit more pasty. And I took a taste. My throat's burning. It's tasty. So, this is the chili garlic paste. Yay! All right, so marinade time. I am using a 9-inch cake pan. No, this is bigger than that. Maybe 10. I don't know. Cake pan. You want a shallow bowl, but this is what I have. So we want a 1/4 cup soy sauce. We want a 1/3 cup maple syrup. We want our 2 tablespoons of our chili garlic paste, which is what we created. Alright. We want our 2 tablespoons of our 5 spice. Alright. And then we want 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Next we want our 8 cloves of finely chopped or minced garlic, and syrup, yep, and we whisk it all together. Alright, so I saw this thing, and it said, with the exception of eggs, the best way to whisk something is left to right. So you just kind of go like this, or up and down, but you go back and forth. And that is the best way to whisk something together. They said with eggs you want to do the round motion, but everything else you go left to right. So we are going to whisk this together. And then we are going to put our Cornish hens in, or our quail, if that's what we were supposed to have, into this. We're going to coat it, and then we're going to cover and refrigerate for a minimum of 4 hours. So 4 to 6, 7, 8 hours. 4 to 8 hours. Oh, but before you marinate it, you want to rinse off your bird and pat it dry, and then we're going to salt and pepper the outside and the inside to taste. See? Now, we marinate. Alright, and then cover and refrigerate for 4 to 8 hours.
Till it takes 3 steps and then turns around and looks at me.
What? Alright, so it has been 4 hours, and it's a little bit past 8 o'clock. Just a little bit. It's like 9. So now what we're going to do
is we are going to baste the chickens, or the hen quails. What? Hey, what are you doing? Stop it.
Can we see the time from there?
I said it was like 9. Stop it. David! Quit!
Baste. Baste away.
Stop it. I did.
Then what next?
Oh my god! Give me my camera!
We have rice cooking too.
Alright, so once your quails or hens have been basted, you want to drain them and then place them on a roasting rack pan. Now, I did not know this, but I had asked David earlier if I could just have a rack on a cookie sheet. And he said no, because that's a roasting pan. A cookie sheet is not a roasting pan. So, now on the packaging for this, it said start them breast side down. So, we'll do this. Now, you want to flip the wings backwards. And I will do that here so that you may see. Flip the wings like this and then like that. And then if you have twine, tie their feet together. Alright, now you want to save your marinade. So save that because you're going to be basting these a couple of times during the cooking process. So once your oven is beeping because it's telling you it's at 475, your birds will go into the oven for 10 minutes. Alright, put our birds in. For 10 minutes. Alright, so David! Can you see? Kind of. Alright, so here's where we're at right now. We're going to baste the birds. Alright, and then we're going to turn this pan around. For even cooking, because it's warmer in the back of the oven. And 5 minutes. And we baste again. Alright, so we're at 5 minutes. So we're going to pull them out.
You can smell the caramelized sugars in it.
Yes. Alright, and then let's go ahead, turn this 90 degrees, baste, and then they go back in for 10 minutes. And that'll be the end of it. And then they'll have to sit for 5, and that's it. Probably should do this with a brush.
that's it though, why don't you just get crazy with the juices? You saving them? You scared? You scared?
Yeah, bruh?
Don't be scared, bro.
You mad, bruh? You mad?
I also imagine dumping those juices and letting them sit below there will evaporate as it's cooking,
Uh-huh.
and maybe steam and add more flavor.
Maybe. I do not know. I do know that that heat is hot upon my fingers. That is going to be super garlicky. Okay, so that's that. And then we push them back in like this. And we'll check it in 10 minutes.
And then we wait.